I think next time, instead of clap up, you should just full on punch Alex in the face.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Words Are Hard show. Another brand new episode with another brand new random topic that we never heard about before. But we did because we put it in there. But
Well, you've heard about it. Alex and I might not have.
We're kind of blind to the whole thing.
We trust you with the randomizer.
yeah, sorry I'm involved.
No, it's not that. I'm saying we trust you because it is better if we don't know what's coming. But I trust that even though you know what's coming...
I spend days preparing for this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like ready.
You do?
You're
And by that I mean...
You're always rock hard.
Okay. Hit the randomizer.
Randomize it.
Adulting.
Adulting.
This is not a topic that any of the three of us could talk about.
Yeah, sorry.
We have,
Roll
nothing to
credits!
say.
No.
The problem that I have with the word adulting
is that it's not an adult word?
is that
It's a childish
it's
term.
made up by millennials who feel like doing everyday responsible things that you need to do and that they're hard or that they're too hard, and I have to
Makes
feel
them a functional person.
it makes them a
Mike.
functional person.
Mike, isn't Alex a millennial?
Technically, he's
but
a
he's
millennial
not
too.
Yeah, but he's not the mold. He's not.
No, he doesn't fit the typical mold. of a
Anyone
millennial.
born after 1980 is a millennial.
Not me.
Yeah.
You're not.
I'm an old fart.
So
I believe
The-
I'm
the-
Generation X.
technically speaking, yes. So
Never do that again.
wow.
Every time Greg wants to disassociate
Yeah,
himself,
I'm gonna go.
walking down the street.
Every time Greg makes an X with his arms, a kitten dies of rabies.
Dies of rabies.
Kitten
Yeah.
dies of cringing just a little
Cringing
too hard.
just a little too hard. So the fact, the thing I hate about the word adulting,
Yep.
is that a lot of millennials will use it as a term for doing responsible.
So
things to
I
survive.
used the word adulting when I got a mortgage and bought a house.
sure.
Yeah, because you're a
I
millennial.
don't use the word adulting when I load the dishwasher or you know what I mean,
No, exactly.
or like sweep the
I guess
floor.
that brings up a good clarification question for this topic then. Was the topic of adulting to talk about the actual use of the term adulting, or was the topic of adulting to talk about the act of being an adult?
I don't know,
We
but
can-
it
we
certainly wasn't to bore people in breaking down definitions. I'm
No,
sure
no,
we can talk
exactly,
about
yeah.
both.
So and that's the thing. So
Can't
I mean,
believe you think I'm boring.
as far as adulting is concerned, like you said, I mean, like when you bought a house, I mean, obviously that's like okay, I'm an adult now. I own property.
I feel like that was the cap of adulthood.
Yeah.
For
Was
you?
buying a house. Yeah.
I think the cap of adulthood is retiring, but okay.
See, that's fair.
No, that's the cap of being an old
person.
That's like the tail end of your life.
The cap on top.
No.
Greg
That's
puts his
like
hat on
somebody
first.
Took the,
When Greg gets
somebody
up
took
in the
cap
morning-
off and it's starting to be poured out. now.
When Greg gets up in the morning to start his day, he puts his hat on first.
See,
I do.
The closest thing I've come to that was when I bought my couches, because it's like I have furniture.
Did you just say couches plural?
Yes,
Yeah, you bought 2 couches.
about 2 identical couches.
They're both incredibly comfortable.
Are they?
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
are they?
One's at my place and one is with someone else at the moment because I didn't have space for it at my place. So, that.
But I mean, to go in, have a decent credit score, get credit,
Mhm.
finance something, I would say that's an adult thing to do.
Definitely true. Yeah.
Or in some cases, I would stop calling it an adult thing when you do it too much.
Sure.
And you can't afford what you're doing, then that's a
Yeah.
very unadult thing to
Exactly.
do.
So I mean, for me, like I just paid off my 5-year car loan, and I don't have a car payment anymore.
you adulted.
I'm adulted. I adulted for 5 years straight.
Now-
and now I don't have
Except with your car, you probably should go out and get another car loan.
I'm gonna save up my money and not do that. Actually, no. I say this, but for what would be my next car payment, I'm actually just gonna go out and either buy a very expensive bottle of whiskey, or I'm going to drive to Nova Scotia and pick up as many bottles as possible of my favorite rum.
Because nothing says being an adult than spending all your money on alcohol.
Nothing says being an adult more than saving up your money,
And spending it on something you want.
meeting your life needs, and then indulging
See, I agree with that.
with what's available. Nothing's more adult than waiting until you are financially stable enough to indulge on something.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say if Alex is like, I still have a car payment, but fuck it, I'm buying rum. That's not a very adult.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, of course now.
And I feel like people who every day use the word adulting would do something like that.
Oh sure, most definitely.
They celebrate the fact that they filled the dishwasher, but they also skipped their car payment this week so they could have alcohol to party with on Saturday night.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, but they deserve it because they adulted.
Yeah, they adulted. They did that dishwasher.
It's it bothers me so much because not the fact that they're using a noun as a verb, because I do that all the time, right? Like
You always noun your verbs?
yes, I always noun my verbs.
I verb nouns.
You verb nouns?
Yeah.
How so?
I do things.
So you do guitars?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
You fucking say shit like that all the time.
No, that's verbing nouns. I noun verbs. So it's like, okay, so
My head hurts.
You remember what I said about boring definitions?
Yeah.
exactly.
You said, and you accused it. Alex.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's make this into a GIF.
Generation X.
Generation X. What are we doing?
No, Generation X. I'm not a part of this.
No, that's generation.
I crashed
Y
the housing
missing.
market.
So, adulting. What else do I do that's adulting? I mean, I carry myself into work. I've reached that point with my job where it's like, I'm sometimes trying to. I have to like carry myself into work. Like I have to force myself to go in. It's like I don't want
That's
to go to
every
work.
morning for me.
No, I feel like everyone reaches that point, of course, in their job. That,
And
it's
the
like,
sad part is, I used to have issues with my job being. I hated my job. It was terrible. It's not, knock on wood, not quite so bad lately. So it's not even that I don't want to go to work because I feel like, my job sucks. I hate it. I don't want to go in there. It's just literally like, oh man, there's so many other things I feel like I could be doing today. I really don't want to go in and
fact,
do
Life
it.
Yeah.
is so much better. I don't hate my job necessarily. I just don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
that's
See, you can't really complain about having to go travel to work. I don't want to go into work.
See, my thing is the commute to work was never my issue with work.
It was
Yeah.
just,
I enjoy driving. Like I like driving
yeah,
and listening to music and whatever.
I have the option. I could work from home if I wanted to, but I would actually, if I have to work, I'd prefer to get ready, get in the car, drive in, and socialize with people while
Sure.
I'm in there.
I prefer
than
that too.
That, and I just find I get more done when I'm in the office than I do when I try to
Sure.
work from home.
That's right. I like to adult with other adults.
Yeah, I like to.
like,
I like to do my
vacationing-
adulting in public.
vacationing or like going camping with other groups of adults. Like, how would
Yeah,
that-
like I don't know. It's funny because back in high school, when it was like, let's go camping, it's like, all right, let's get a bunch of booze together. Let's go out into the woods. We're gonna get drunk. We're gonna get stoned. And we're just gonna keep doing it until we pass out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
Doing it as in drinking and doing
Yeah.
drugs, not just a bunch of bros in the woods.
And then,
Just,
and then,
fucking
and then they all had sex.
just straight fuck until we pass out. High school.
Can't say that's what my high school was
I-
like.
sorry, Mike. Sorry, Mike. I wasn't on the hockey team.
Yeah. No.
No, that's
Yeah,
the
neither was
soccer
I.
team you're talking about, not the hockey team. The hockey team wouldn't do that.
Soccer.
Maybe not where
volleyball.
you're from.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Wasn't
you're
the
from Minto.
Yeah, wasn't that the volleyball
You
team
didn't
that
even-
you were talking? Anyway,
Actually, my hockey team had a woman on it, so that wouldn't be too bad.
we had a
Whoa.
we had a women's hockey team and
So
a men's
she's
hockey
lesbian.
team.
She's
Yeah,
lesbian.
so did they.
Very.
Just
very-
the
Just
one person.
everybody played on both teams.
But no, like, and now, like, if I were to do something like camping, I would be like, oh, well, maybe we can invite a couple other couples out and we can get together some good food.
I was just gonna say,
And,
good
like,
food is
go
going to be.
go sightseeing.
And it's like, and it's like, do you think we need any more than a case of beer? It's like, no, we'll just have a beer supper, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like in a bonfire.
and the mamawana.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of times where I revert back and I'm just like, and I do the same thing where I'm like, I've adulted pretty hard. I
Yeah.
don't use that term, but I mean, like, you know.
Oh no, you do.
But that usually comes when it's like, you know, oh, I just pulled an 80-hour work week.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did all the housework, and I built a shed, and I worked on my landscaping. You know what I mean? And then it's like, all right, now I'm gonna act like I'm gonna get white girl wasted, and act like I'm 16 again.
Doesn't take much
That
for you.
works.
It really doesn't. But I mean, is there, I guess, maybe a time and a place for it, or should you always?
I don't think there's ever a time and a place to use the term adulting,
No.
but the
That's fair.
definition of adulting, then yes, you're right. There is a time and a place for that. Exactly what
There's
you
a
just
time
said.
and a place to be an adult.
Well, no, to feel like I've accomplished something as an adult.
I was gonna say there's a time and place to be an adult. Like, I mean, like we'll say with children, as far as disciplining and and that type of thing, right? Like you have to be a parent, you have to be an adult, not a friend type thing, right? To your kid.
Do you discipline your children?
I don't talk to my children.
At the same time, if I had a 16-year-old and they came home drunk, I'd be like, go to sleep on the couch. We're not going to tell your mother.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
And next time, bring me home a beer.
Yeah. Did you get me anything good? You little shit. What was that thing that I saw online the other day where it's just like, son, we need to talk. I found your weed stash. And he's just like, but Dad, I don't have any weed. He's like, shut the fuck up. I'm high as hell right now.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the one about, son, I found your weed stash. Who's your dealer? Yours is way better than mine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or, son, are you hiding drugs from us? And he's just like, no, I don't do drugs. He's like, you pussy.
You're no son of mine.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. Like, at what point do you grow up? Do you not grow up? Type of thing.
I don't think there's a set age because it's different for everyone. Because I still don't consider myself a complete quote unquote grown up. I'm still very immature, and you guys know that. But I mean, I'm a lot better than I was even like 5 or 6 years ago.
Sure.
Like now I'm a lot more conscious about money. I make sure that our bills are paid. You guys might see me still buying a lot of stuff, but I always make sure bills are paid and that everything's covered before I spend money on frivolous things.
On toys.
Right? I haven't bought a toy in a long time, believe it or not.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I've always been good.
I
with
would
money.
if I found the right one.
I've always been good with money, right?
Yeah, see,
so I mean, like
I was terrible
when
I was your age. I was really bad with money.
so that's the thing. I mean, like I would always
when
make
I was
sure
your age.
I would always make sure that all my bills and stuff were paid. Everything was fine that way. When I was actually when my buddy was in his second year of university, I was living very very close to campus. I'd be going out every weekend, spending $60 to $80 a night that we would go out, and I could do that, right? Like it was fine. Everything was getting paid, so I didn't really care. And of course now, I'm more debt free than most of my friends who are in university for their 5th year, doing master's programs and stuff, and they won't have anything paid off until they're like 40. It's like.
Well, that's the other thing. Is like when you're going to school, you can still consistently feel like a child.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't think there's really an opportunity to grow up. But when you get into like a trade, when you go to school for a maximum of what?
You
like
grow up pretty
2
quickly.
years.
Yeah.
And then you're immediately in career mode.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah. Which has always been kind of a weird feeling to me because like everyone else around me is still partying. And I'm like, all right, well.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work tomorrow. So
Well, yeah, that was the thing. I remember when my buddy, like I was talking to him, and he was just like talking about looking at going to school in the first place, and and I was I think a month later I was like, hey, what's going on? We haven't talked in a while. Have you looked at anything for school? And he's just like, no, not much. I've just sort of been bumming around, drinking. He's like, I just started working part-time over here. And I was just like, oh, cool. He's like, what have you been up to? I was just like, They got me working like 60 hours a week, but I had to take a week off because we bought the house and just moved in. And it's like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is my high school friend that like,
Sure.
we were on par the whole time, and then somewhere our priorities just changed, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
I'll probably party when I'm old to make up for it.
You'll probably party when you're old.
When I'm
That's-
Greg's age.
When you're Greg's age.
No, you won't feel like partying when you're my age. There's too many aches and pains.
Yeah. When your wife comes home and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And you're just like, "I took 2 Robax a set today. I'm flying." Woo!
I
Party-
can't wait till next year.
party with my
when
dog.
marijuana is legal.
Well, I know.
Okay, that makes you feel, that kind of throws a wrench into things, right? 'Cause like,
What do you mean?
well, the whole weed thing, we could get into the whole how when you're younger it's like, oh, I'm smoking weed, this is illegal. That's what that's what makes this fun. Like, literally, I know people who literally just smoke weed because it's illegal, and that's.
I
it.
would've
Those
done-
people
right.
are stupid.
I
Oh
would-
no, they're entirely just degenerates.
I would have done it if it was legal.
Well, there you go, and that's the thing. I mean, like, there's gonna be, we could get into the whole, how there's gonna be all these laws, built into the legality of everything, but,
The problem with weed is that it tricks you into thinking that you've been a productive person. Like,
Oh, I'm not that stupid.
If-
See,
see, the thing is, like, there's some people who are functional with it and stuff, but like, if you use it for medicinal purposes, then great. But like, if you like smoke a bunch, you're really really high, and then like you go to the store and you like bought a loaf of bread and mailed a letter, you get home, you're like, oh my god, today was busy with errands, like.
no, see, I'm not going to hide the fact that I am looking forward to it being legalized, and I will use it when it's legal, but I will use it in a medicinal way, and I plan on using it before I go to bed to sleep.
So I can function more the next day
You're-
and be more.
you're gonna use it in the
productive at work.
most adult way possible. It's like, I want to get to sleep earlier.
Well, yeah, that was the thing with when I went down to the Dominican, and they have their drink, the Mamajuana, that
Mama Wanna.
gets you really drunk, and all of the younger people at the resort were just like, "Woo! I'm gonna drink this, and I'm gonna get so drunk and so horny, and just like fucking party and
I'm gonna fuck everything.
yeah, and there was this really old bartender there. He was super nice, and I was asking all of them sort of what they use it for, because they call it like a cure-all, right? So, and he said, oh, I take a couple of shots about an hour before bed. It helps me sleep, and I have a a nice deeper sleep. It helps me sort of sleep through. I live in a noisier part of town, so and I was like, oh. So
You're hoping that he's gonna give you all his like sex secrets. It's like, all right,
no, it's
Wow.
just I was really curious.
adulting to the max.
Yeah.
Because it was there was nobody in between ages. There was really young and then him. So
So you got two extremes.
yeah, pretty much. So it's weird how like the things that you did when you were a kid become the things that you do when you're older, but you apply practical.
Practical ends to them. It's like, all right, as a kid, it's like, all right, I'm gonna drink until I throw up and pass out.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I'm gonna drink,
Until I can sleep.
hope I don't throw up, and I'm gonna pass out in my bed with an ice pack next to me after having taken an Advil and
Yeah.
some water.
Well, that's the thing. Like when I was a kid, I would drink and drink and drink, and then throw up and pass out on my friend's carpet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Because the carpet was comfier than the hardwood. But like now, if I'm out partying and I'm like drinking and drinking, I come home absolutely plastered. Doesn't matter how drunk I am. I remember I was standing in the kitchen, wife was in bed, I was super drunk from like a work party, and they had just dropped me off, and I'm standing in my kitchen at 3 a.m, and I can barely function. I can barely stand up or keep my eyes open, and I was just like, all right, Michael, focus. You're gonna get some aspirin. you're gonna get about a liter of water. And I was like, and I was literally like, all right, you need all this water. And then I was just like, you know what you need with this? You need some food in your stomach in case you throw up. Yeah, you could throw this up later. And like, I was like making food, and I was being very like, even when I was drunk, I was just like, take care of yourself.
Yeah, very methodic.
When I was a kid, I was just like, let's see how quickly we can kill ourselves and how much fun we can have doing it.
I'll pass out and deal with it in the morning.
Well, there was one time when we got really, really drunk. We ran out into a field and shot fireworks at each other. And we gave each other like there's 3 of us who were running away from the fireworks, right? And we had goggles, and it started off with Roman candles and then turned into like cherry bombs and shit.
Are you being triggered right now, Alex?
They're in the trees. No,
It's Nam all over
but
again.
no, yeah, it started off with just Roman candles, which everybody has shot a Roman candle at a friend.
Can't say as I have.
It doesn't hurt. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But then it started turning into like the really explosive ones. There was one called like Mini Jet, and there was like cherry bombs and stuff, and they were just like either shooting them at us or throwing them at us after they lit them. And they were just like, there's 3 of us really drunk, and they're like, here's some carpenter goggles, go out to the field. And
You need to protect your
I was
eyesight.
like, wait a second, let me put a sweater on so I don't burn my arm.
Terrible idea.
So I just put a sweater on, and that was it. I remember Kyle, one time when this was in the middle of the day. It wasn't even like we weren't drunk, nothing. It was the middle of the day. We were walking to a friend's house. It was in the winter, and we were lighting some fireworks. Kyle jumped in a snowbank. We shot it at him. It got caught in his jacket and exploded on him.
Exactly.
And like just doing stupid shit like that. And at no point was I like, let's take care of myself. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
And like even all of our older friends were holding the fireworks that they were shooting at
Yeah.
us.
I mean, when you mention fireworks, immediately what comes to mind is when I was younger and I would used to modify them, right? I would take out the charge, what the part that would explode, and I would set it up in a way that I could light the fuse. The fuse would slowly, work its way down and then explode in a controlled manner. So I mean, I could put it somewhere, it would explode instead of like flying off. So I have all these videos somewhere out in the internet of me just blowing up like these little model things that I had, or like this handheld video game thing that I had, just shards of plastic flying at me everywhere. We once had the very bright idea of putting it in a glass bottle with a bunch of BBs.
So
Light it, glass and BBs flew everywhere type
so
thing.
sticking with the adulting topic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm saying
That's the
doing that,
anti-adulting.
I'm talking
Yeah.
exactly. I'm saying I I like blowing shit up like that. That's fine, but the whole glass thing, like
Yeah.
that's I now know as an adult that that's stupid, and
Yeah.
I should be wearing eyeglasses.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is
when
like
I
like
was a kid, I would have known that was stupid.
yeah. All I'm saying is that sometimes we do the same things now
Yeah.
that we did when we were kids, but we
Do it in a
we're,
Apply
different
common
way.
yeah,
sense.
yeah, we're more conscious of these things.
Yeah.
Like I still drink, but I'm like, let's take care of myself. Longboarding.
Yeah,
I mean, I used to skateboard when I was younger, but I also used to be like, let's see how fast I can go down this hill. And it's like, there's traffic down there. It's like, oh, I'll figure it out.
They'll
I don't
stop.
figure it
and
out.
now, like when we go longboarding, I'm like, all right, if we go at this time, there'll be less traffic, and we can go in this area because we're not going
Fewer
to get hit
cars.
by a car. Yeah, and it's just like safety.
And if we go in this area, we can hook up with my drug dealer.
So a lot of people would say, oh, that's common sense, but
That's what being an adult is about, though.
you learn common sense in the process of becoming an adult.
Yeah.
I know not to do that when I'm skateboarding or whatever because I hurt myself before. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Stuff like that. So I know to eat and drink things before I pass out drunk because I have been in the position where I didn't do that.
there you go.
So
yeah.
you know to wear eye goggles when you make homemade explosives because
Because I'm,
Being an adult is a
don't wanna take a
combination
chance.
of learning experiences.
yes,
I guess. So adulting is not functioning in your everyday life. Adulting is not getting up, putting on clothes, and leaving the house. Adulting is applying common sense to everyday
Learning.
learning.
which is something that children can't do, realistically, or children learn to do.
They can. I've seen kids do something where I'm like, that was a very adult thing to do.
Yep.
Sure.
But then you've seen kids where you're like, that was a really adult thing to do. Fuck.
Like take their diaper off and smear poo all over the walls.
No,
No, I
like
think
like
he's
like
I
like
think
when
he's talking like
like when a 15-year-old gets really drunk and knocks somebody up. Like that was an adult thing to do.
I was gonna go in a slightly more racy situation. You know,
Lessons learned.
lessons learned.
Alex tried to kill himself when he was a kid.
Lessons learned. Adulting is hard, but I hate that with a passion.
You hate the word.
I hate the word adulting with a passion.
I don't know. Lessons learned. There's nothing more adult than putting content on the internet and then arguing with strangers over said internet. Hey guys, thanks for watching that episode of the Words Are Hard show. Let us know the sort of shit that makes you feel like an adult down in the comments section. You can also let us know the kind of things that make you feel like a not adult. Also let us know some of the topics you'd like to hear along with a request. If we draw your topic, we'll do the request to the best of our abilities. As you can probably tell, most of our topics don't have requests, so lucky us. 50% of the work for 100% of the payoff? I don't know. Check out our merchandise store, link in the description below. We have some sweet t-shirts, mugs, and all kinds of sweet Words Are Hard, I'm not saying swag, merchandise. You can also check us out on social media. We got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Lots of fun adult things happening there. That came out wrong. If you want to watch a previous episode, you can click here between Greg and I, and if you want to subscribe to the channel, we'd really appreciate it. You can click the channel icon over here. Thanks for watching.